There was a time when I asked myself, why me? Why did things go wrong? Why did I face so much pain? Why did life take away what I thought was mine? But then, over time, I learned something life-changing. God never makes mistakes. Every single moment, good or bad, is part of a bigger plan. I know there are days when you feel lost, broken, and hopeless. Days when you feel like the world is moving forward, but you are stuck in place. But let me tell you something. You are not stuck. You are being prepared. Sometimes when we don't get what we want, we think God isn't listening. But have you ever considered that He is protecting you? What if that rejection was actually a redirection? What if that failure was a hidden blessing? I have seen people who had everything but still felt empty. And I have met those who lost everything but found peace. The difference? Faith. Faith that God knows what He is doing. If you are going through a dark phase in your life, I want you to remember this: the night is always darkest before the sunrise. Your struggles are shaping you, making you stronger, and preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because the pain you feel today will become the strength you stand on tomorrow. And one day, when you look back, you will realize God's plan was far greater than yours. Trust Him, believe in His timing, and never stop moving forward. Pain is something we all experience at some point in life. It comes in different forms: heartbreak, failure, rejection, loss, but no matter how it arrives, it always feels heavy. It shakes you, makes you question everything, and often leaves you wondering why you had to go through it in the first place. But what if pain isn't just a meaningless burden? What if it has a deeper purpose? Many times when life hits us hard, we think it's unfair. We ask, why me? We see our struggles as setbacks, as punishments, as signs that we are not good enough, or that life is working against us. But what we fail to realize is that pain is not the enemy. It is the teacher. It is the sculptor that carves us into something greater than we were before. It is the fire that refines, the storm that strengthens, and the darkness that forces us to find our own light. Think about the most inspiring people you know, the ones who have incredible stories of resilience, who have overcome obstacles and emerged stronger. What do they all have in common? They have suffered. They have fallen. They have faced difficulties that could have broken them. But instead of letting pain define them, they used it to grow. They allowed their struggles to shape them into someone wiser, braver, and more compassionate. Pain introduces us to parts of ourselves we never knew existed. It tests our strength, patience, and endurance. When everything is smooth and easy, we stay comfortable. We don't challenge ourselves. But pain forces us to change. It pushes us beyond our limits and reveals how strong we truly are. It teaches us lessons we could never learn in comfort. It humbles us, makes us more grateful, and helps us appreciate the little things we once took for granted. Sometimes pain redirects us. It closes doors we were desperately trying to keep open because they were never meant for us. It takes away things we thought we needed so that we can find what we are truly meant for. We see rejection as a setback, but in reality, it is a form of protection. What if the opportunities that didn't work out would have led us away from our true purpose? What if the people who left were never meant to stay? Pain is often God's way of moving us towards something better, even when we can't see it in the moment. There are times when pain simply teaches us empathy. Until we go through struggles ourselves, we don't fully understand what others are going through. We don't realize how deeply someone can hurt until we have felt it too. But once we do, we become more compassionate, more understanding, and more willing to lend a helping hand. Pain connects us to others in ways that nothing else can. It gives us the ability to relate, to comfort, and to inspire. The very thing that once made us feel alone becomes the bridge that connects us to others who need to hear our story. The truth is, pain changes us, but whether it changes us for the better or the worse is up to us. We can either let it make us bitter, angry, and hopeless, or we can allow it to transform us into stronger, kinder, and wiser individuals. We can choose to see our struggles as obstacles, or we can see them as stepping stones leading us to where we are meant to be. No pain is ever wasted. Even when it feels unbearable, even when it seems unfair, there is a purpose behind it. One day, you will look back and realize that the things that once hurt you the most were actually shaping you into the person you were always meant to become. Rejection is one of the most painful experiences a person can go through. It stings, breaks confidence, and often leaves behind a lingering feeling of not being good enough. Whether it comes in the form of a failed relationship, a job opportunity that didn't work out, or a dream that seems to slip away just when you were closest to it. Rejection can feel like the universe shutting a door in your face. But what if rejection isn't meant to break you? What if it is actually guiding you towards something better? Something you may not see yet. Most people take rejection as a sign of failure. They believe that if they were smarter, more talented, or just luckier, things would have worked out. But that isn't always true. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, some things are simply not meant for you. And that is not a sign of your weakness, it is a sign that you are being redirected to something greater. The truth is, rejection is not the end. It is often the beginning of a path you never would have considered if things had gone the way you originally planned. Think about all the times in life when you wanted something desperately but didn't get it. At that moment, it felt like the worst thing possible. It felt unfair, frustrating, and confusing. But later, when you looked back, you realized that not getting what you wanted led you to something far better. Maybe the job you were rejected from made space for a much greater opportunity. Maybe the person you thought was your future ended up being just a lesson, allowing you to find someone who truly values you. Maybe the failure that crushed you was actually preparing you for a success beyond your imagination. This is what rejection does. It protects you from what is not meant for you and redirects you towards something that is. One of the most important things rejection teaches is resilience. If everything in life came easily, people would never learn how to push through challenges, grow from setbacks, or develop the strength to stand up again after falling. Rejection forces people to evaluate, adjust, and keep moving forward. It makes them reflect on what they truly want, what they need to improve, and what they are willing to fight for. Without rejection, people would remain in their comfort zones, never realizing their true potential. It is through rejection that people learn their greatest lessons and discover their hidden strengths. Rejection also helps in refining purpose. Sometimes people chase things that are not aligned with their destiny. They hold on to relationships that drain them, careers that don't fulfill them, and dreams that no longer fit who they are becoming. Rejection acts as a wake-up call, forcing them to let go of what isn't working so they can make space for what truly belongs to them. It is the universe's way of saying, this is not your path. Trust me, there is something better. Instead of seeing rejection as a loss, it should be seen as divine redirection, leading people exactly where they are supposed to be. Another important truth about rejection is that it builds character. It teaches patience, humility, and the ability to accept that not everything will go according to plan. But that's the beauty of life. Things don't have to go according to plan to turn out wonderfully. Some of the best moments, opportunities, and relationships happen unexpectedly. When rejection occurs, it is easy to focus on what was lost. But what if instead people focused on what is coming? Every no is making space for the right yes. Every closed door is pushing toward the right one. And one day, when looking back, it will all make sense. Rejection was never meant to break anyone. It was always meant to build, shape, and redirect towards something far greater than what was originally imagined. Life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges at us. Sometimes these challenges are so overwhelming that they make us question our worth and purpose. It is easy to believe that the struggles we face define who we are. A person who has failed multiple times may start to believe they are a failure. Someone who has been abandoned may feel unworthy of love. A person struggling financially may think they are destined to suffer forever. But the truth is, circumstances are temporary. They do not define a person's true identity or potential. Difficult moments in life can feel like permanent labels. People often let their hardship shape the way they see themselves. When they face rejection, they think they are not good enough. When they experience loss, they believe they are broken beyond repair. When they struggle in any aspect of life, they assume they are stuck. But circumstances are just that, circumstances. They are external events, not personal definitions. What a person goes through is not who they are. It is simply a chapter in their story. And just like any story, the plot can change, new opportunities can arise, and transformation is always possible. One of the most dangerous things a person can do is allow their environment to dictate their self-worth. Just because someone was born into a difficult situation does not mean they are destined to remain there. Many people have come from poverty, broken homes, or tragic pasts, yet they have risen above their circumstances and created a life of meaning and success. They refuse to accept their struggles as their identity. Instead, they use those struggles as motivation to change their future. Circumstances are like the weather. They can be stormy today, but clear and bright tomorrow. The key is to keep moving forward, no matter how bad things seem at the moment. People often underestimate their ability to change their situation. They become so focused on their hardships that they fail to see the strength within themselves. The truth is, human beings are incredibly resilient. History is full of stories of people who faced unimaginable difficulties but refused to let those difficulties define them. They made a choice to rise above their pain, to rewrite their narrative, and to prove that they were more than their struggles. This ability exists in everyone. No matter how difficult life gets, there is always the power to choose a different path. One of the most powerful realizations a person can have is that they are not their past. The past is simply a collection of experiences, some good, some bad, but it does not determine the future. Every day is an opportunity to start fresh, to make new choices, and to move in a direction that aligns with who a person wants to become. Holding on to past failures, disappointments, or hardships only keeps a person trapped in a mindset of limitation. Letting go of those negative beliefs opens the door to endless possibilities. It is also important to remember that struggles can serve a purpose. They can teach valuable lessons, build character, and prepare a person for greater things. Hard times do not mean a person is weak or incapable. They mean they are growing. Many of the most successful and inspiring people in the world did not have easy lives. They faced rejection, failure, and loss, but they chose to rise above it. They did not let their struggles define them. Instead, they used them as stepping stones towards something greater. No matter what someone is going through, they must remember that they are more than their circumstances. Life will always have ups and downs, but these moments do not determine worth or potential. What truly defines a person is not what happens to them, but how they respond to it. Strength, resilience, and determination are what shape a person's true identity. And as long as there is a willingness to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep striving, no circumstance can ever hold someone back from becoming who they are meant to be. Life is unpredictable. There are moments when everything seems to be going well. And then, without warning, things take a turn for the worse. Dreams fall apart, relationships end, opportunities slip away, and struggles pile up. It is in these moments of pain and uncertainty that doubt creeps in. It becomes easy to question everything, why things are happening the way they are, why prayers seem unanswered, and why life feels so unfair. But what if, in the midst of all this confusion, something greater is unfolding? What if every struggle is a necessary part of the journey towards something better? Trusting the process means believing that everything is happening for a reason, even when there is no clear explanation. It is easy to have faith when things are going smoothly, but true trust is tested in difficult times. The hardest moments in life often serve as stepping stones toward growth and transformation. Pain is not pointless. It is part of a bigger picture that may not be visible right now. Just like a seed buried in the soil, there are times when it feels like nothing is happening. The darkness, the waiting, the struggles, it all seems endless. But beneath the surface, roots are growing, foundations are being built, and change is taking place. The discomfort of today is often the preparation for the blessings of tomorrow. The process of growth is rarely easy. It requires patience, endurance, and the willingness to keep moving forward, even when there is no immediate reward. Think about the most successful and inspiring people in the world. They did not achieve greatness overnight. They faced failures, rejection, heartbreak, and pain, yet they kept going. They trusted that their struggles were shaping them for something greater. If they had given up in the hardest moments, they would have never reached the success that awaited them. Every setback was a lesson, every failure a redirection, and every painful experience a necessary part of their transformation. One of the hardest things to accept is that timing is not always in our control. People often want things to happen immediately, but life operates on its own schedule. Just because something has not happened yet does not mean it never will. Sometimes, delays are not denials, they are simply part of the process. There are lessons to be learned, strengths to be developed, and experiences to go through before the right opportunity arrives. When something does not go as planned, it does not mean the dream is impossible. It simply means there is still work to be done, preparation to be made, and patience to be practiced. Pain often feels like a punishment, but in reality, it is a tool for growth. It strengthens resilience, deepens understanding, and builds character. Without struggles, there would be no appreciation for success. Without heartbreak, there would be no understanding of true love. Without failure, there would be no drive to improve. Every challenge carries a lesson, and those who trust the process will eventually see the wisdom in their struggles. Even when things seem unfair, even when nothing makes sense, even when the pain feels unbearable, the process must be trusted. There is a reason for every delay, every closed door, and every disappointment. The universe is always working in ways that cannot be seen immediately, aligning things in the background, setting the stage for something greater. Giving up too soon means never reaching the destination that was meant to be. Trusting the process means holding on, pushing forward, and believing that every hardship is shaping something better. One day, when looking back, everything will make sense. The moments of pain and confusion will reveal their purpose, proving that all along, the process was leading to exactly where it was meant to be. Life has a way of testing limits, pushing people beyond what they believe they can handle. Challenges arise, unexpected setbacks occur, and sometimes everything feels too overwhelming. In these moments, doubt takes over, making it seem like giving up is the only option. But the truth is, human strength runs deeper than it appears. People are far more powerful, more resilient, and more capable than they give themselves credit for. Strength is not about never struggling, it is about continuing to move forward despite the struggles. Difficult situations often make a person feel weak, but in reality, those very challenges are shaping them into someone stronger. Strength is not something that appears when life is easy, it is built in moments of hardship. When everything seems to be falling apart, there is an opportunity to rise. Every obstacle, every setback, and every painful experience is like a weight that, when lifted, builds inner strength. Just as muscles grow through resistance, personal strength develops through adversity. The very things that seem unbearable today are the ones that will make a person unstoppable tomorrow. People often underestimate themselves because they focus too much on their struggles rather than their ability to overcome them. It is easy to believe that pain, failure, or heartbreak is a sign of weakness, but surviving those experiences proves just the opposite. Every time someone has faced difficulty and made it through, they have proven their own strength. Looking back, they can see all the times they thought they wouldn't make it, but they did. That alone is proof that they are stronger than they realize. Fear often disguises itself as limitation. It whispers that challenges are too big, that failure is inevitable, and that there is no point in trying. But fear is not reality, it is only a thought, a feeling that loses power when confronted. Many people stop themselves from achieving greatness not because they lack strength, but because they believe they do. The only way to discover true strength is to face fear head-on, to keep moving forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. The moment someone pushes past fear, they unlock a version of themselves they never knew existed. Strength does not mean never feeling pain, sadness, or exhaustion. It means acknowledging those emotions but refusing to let them define the journey. Strong people are not those who never cry or never feel afraid, they are the ones who keep going despite those feelings. They understand that pain is temporary, but the strength gained from enduring it lasts forever. True resilience is found in the decision to rise again, no matter how many times life tries to knock them down. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes it feels like everything is working against personal progress. But even in the darkest moments, strength exists. It may not always be loud or visible, but it is always there. Strength is in the quiet moments when someone chooses to keep fighting, even when no one is watching. It is in the small victories, in the perseverance, in the belief that no matter how hard life gets, there is always a way forward. Every person has faced challenges that they once thought were impossible to overcome. Yet here they are, still standing, still pushing forward. That is proof of their strength. The human spirit is built for resilience, for growth, and for triumph. No matter how difficult the journey may seem, the truth remains the same. Every individual is stronger than they think. When they stop underestimating themselves, when they start believing in their own power, there is no limit to what they can achieve. The strength needed to overcome any obstacle is already within, it just needs to be recognized and embraced. Pain is an inevitable part of life. At some point, everyone faces hardships, heartbreak, and disappointment. These struggles can feel overwhelming, making it easy to fall into despair and question why bad things happen. But pain, no matter how deep, does not have to break a person. It can be transformed into power, and the key to that transformation is gratitude. When pain is met with gratitude, it loses its ability to destroy, and instead becomes a tool for growth, strength, and wisdom. Gratitude shifts focus from what is lost to what remains. When faced with difficulties, it is natural to dwell on the pain and frustration of the situation. The mind replays the hurt, making it feel even heavier. But choosing gratitude changes the narrative. It redirects attention to the lessons hidden within the struggle, the strength that is being built, and the blessings that still exist. No matter how painful a moment is, there is always something to be grateful for: a breath, a second chance, a lesson learned, or simply the fact that survival is still possible. Gratitude does not erase pain. but it softens its grip and reveals a new perspective. Hard times often bring growth that would not have been possible otherwise. The struggles that seem unbearable today are often the ones that shape the strongest, most resilient versions of people. When reflecting on past challenges, it becomes clear that even the hardest moments carried hidden gifts. Maybe a failure led to a better opportunity. Maybe a heartbreak made room for deeper love. Maybe a setback built the patience and wisdom needed for something greater. When gratitude is applied to pain, struggles become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Instead of being defined by suffering, a person becomes defined by their ability to rise above it. Pain teaches lessons that ease and comfort never could. Strength is not built in moments of ease, it is forged in the fire of struggle. Every painful experience carries wisdom about endurance, about resilience, about what truly matters. Instead of asking, why me? Gratitude encourages the question, what can I learn from this? This shift in mindset changes pain from an enemy into a teacher. It no longer becomes something to escape from, but something to embrace as part of the journey toward becoming stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Gratitude also creates space for healing. Holding on to pain without gratitude turns it into bitterness, anger, and resentment. But when gratitude is introduced, healing begins. It becomes easier to forgive, to let go, and to find peace. Gratitude does not deny the hurt, but it prevents the hurt from controlling the future. It allows the heart to remain open, even after it has been wounded. Instead of closing off in fear, a grateful heart sees each experience, good or bad, as part of a greater story still being written. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to shift energy. Pain drains, weakens, and keeps a person stuck in negativity. But gratitude restores, uplifts, and creates a sense of hope. Even in the darkest moments, gratitude offers light. It reminds people that they are not alone, that they have survived before, and that they have the strength to overcome again. When gratitude replaces despair, pain no longer feels like an end, it feels like the beginning of something greater. There is always a choice to let pain define and destroy, or to use it as fuel for growth. Gratitude is what makes that transformation possible. It does not mean ignoring the pain or pretending it does not hurt. It means choosing to see beyond the hurt, to find the hidden strength within, and to believe that even the hardest moments are shaping something meaningful. When gratitude is embraced, pain no longer weakens, it empowers. It becomes a force that builds rather than breaks, proving that no matter how difficult life gets, there is always something to be grateful for, and there is always the ability to rise stronger than before. Every person has a story. Some are filled with triumph, others with heartbreak, and many with struggles that seemed impossible to overcome. Yet, no matter how difficult the journey has been, that story holds value not just for the person who lived it, but for others who may be walking a similar path. Life is not just about personal growth, it is also about sharing experiences so others can find hope, strength, and direction. The moments of pain, failure, and resilience are not just personal battles, they are lessons that can inspire and uplift someone else. It is easy to believe that a story is not important enough to be shared. Many people think that their struggles are too small or their victories too insignificant. But the truth is, even the simplest experiences can have a profound impact. A story does not have to be filled with dramatic events to inspire others. Sometimes it is the honesty, the vulnerability, and the simple act of surviving that speaks the loudest. People connect through shared experiences, and one person's journey can be the exact encouragement someone else needs to keep going. There are countless individuals in the world who feel lost, broken, and alone. They believe that no one understands their struggles, that no one has faced what they are going through. But when someone shares their story, it creates a bridge, a reminder that they are not alone. It tells them that others have faced similar challenges and have come out stronger. This sense of connection can be life-changing. Knowing that someone else has endured the same pain and still found happiness gives hope that healing and success are possible. Stories also carry the power to change perspectives. Many people are trapped in negative mindsets, believing they are destined to fail or that they are incapable of overcoming obstacles. But hearing how someone else fought through darkness and found light can shift their way of thinking. It shows them that struggle is not the end, that setbacks do not define a person, and that there is always a way forward. A single story can plant a seed of belief in someone who had lost all hope. Sharing personal experiences is not just about inspiring others, it also brings healing to the storyteller. Speaking about past struggles and triumphs allows people to see how far they have come. It gives meaning to pain and turns past wounds into sources of strength. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, a person begins to see themselves as a survivor, a fighter, someone who has wisdom to offer the world. What once felt like unbearable suffering transforms into a powerful testimony of resilience and growth. The impact of a story goes beyond words. It creates ripples influencing people in ways that may never be fully known. Someone may read or hear a story and decide not to give up. Another person may find the courage to chase a dream they once thought was impossible. A struggling soul may find the strength to take one more step forward. The smallest moments of honesty and vulnerability can have effects that stretch far beyond what can be imagined. No matter where a person comes from, what they have been through, or how much they have struggled, their story matters. It is a unique journey, filled with lessons, growth, and victories both big and small. Keeping it to oneself may feel safe, but sharing it can be a gift to the world. There is always someone out there who needs to hear it, who needs that encouragement, who needs to know that they are not alone. A story, when shared, has the power to inspire, uplift, and transform lives. It reminds people that strength is possible, that pain has purpose, and that no matter how difficult the journey, there is always hope waiting on the other side.